Amongst the dark spirits and beasts that prey upon man, I am the vilest of them all. Nevertheless, man embraces me most above all others. No need have I to impose my will, or possess man's body to have my bidding be done. Thou offer thyself freely unto me, absent of all reservation, and without hesitation. For if thou abandon me, I will damn thy soul. If thou reject me, thou shalt be shunned and scorned. Consider this. What brings thee to me? Is it eternal life thou crave? Is it heavenly rewards thou seek? I promise eternal paradise, simply for thy servitude, and that of your offspring. I offer it to thee freely, it matters not. This priceless gift costs me nothing, for only when thou take in breath no more is payment due. For I am the voice in the silence of unanswered prayers. I am the healing thou seek when death and disease embrace thy children. I am the signs and warnings in the heavens and stars thou see as omens of future days to come. I am the high ground stood upon when thou condemns thy neighbor to hell in the name of forgiveness and love. I am the reason thou kill for dogma and belief. Alas, do not despair, my beloved children, for I am not without benevolence or kindness. I grant strength to overcome thy fear of the unknown. I give it thee sight that allows thee to envision hope beyond the tragedies and misfortunes of life. I provide comfort from the continuous sound of death's inevitable approach. I am the purpose of pain. I am the reward from loss, and I am the love in absence. Nonetheless, take heed, for millions of thy brothers and sisters have lost their lives in my name. Wickedness, sin, and other destruction follow in my path. I turn fathers against sons, and daughters against mothers. Every god must kneel before me, for I grant them their power. I am the chains that bind man's soul to heaven and hell. From the beginning, my kind has dwelt amongst man. Demons populate thy history in abundance, and man has given us many names. I have one name, one holy name thou exalts above all others. Summon me, and I will come. Calleth upon me, and abandon thy logic of thought and reason of mind. Speaketh my name, and surrender to me. Surrender unto faith. It was in the late 1990s, where people residing near the swamplands of Louisiana have claimed to have seen the mysterious creatures called the swamp bodies. The swamp bodies are creatures that were allegedly dwelling in the swamps, stalking the swamps during the night, whilst leaving deep footprints in the mud puddles and soil. In July 2005, an alligator hunter, along with his 4 friends, disappeared while hunting around 5 in the afternoon. One survivor of the incident luckily returned after being lost in the swamp for 3 days, and then was temporarily held by the local sheriff for questioning. The survivor stated that he had seen the swamp bodies with his very own eyes, and he described that the swamp bodies were large, golem-like creatures. They have thick layers of dark green Spanish moss covering the actual body, which is probably made up of mud, soil, and stone. According to the survivor, the swamp bodies have no eyes, but can sense a human within 25 feet, and if it senses one, it will stomp its feet towards the victim with a quake and a little thud from the ground, possibly a signal that the victim must flee to safety or stay out of its presence. The survivor also mentioned that the swamp bodies have the foul stench of a decomposing corpse, blended with the natural odor of the swamp water. Recently, in March 2013, the bones of the alligator hunter were found. Interestingly, the bones were found to have a few layers of soil and rock and some small amounts of moss covering them. Unfortunately for the other three, they are still out there in the marsh, waiting to be discovered. However, whatever thing that animates the swamp bodies, to the best of the scientists who are still studying the remains of the alligator hunter, is still unknown. The nurse gently lays me back on the surgical bed. The paper covering rustles slightly and brushes uncomfortably against the exposed skin of my arms and thighs. I shift a little in an attempt to make myself more comfortable. My face must clearly be reflecting how much my stomach is churning for the procedure ahead, as the nurse asks if I need a bag. I take a deep breath and try to steady my nerves. The odd scent of various chemicals and cleaning solvents doesn't help, but I still decline her offer. She nods and places the rubbery, transparent mask over my nose and mouth. There's a soft hiss as the gas flows through the tubes and invades my lungs. The nurse counts down from 10. My mind blacks out before she reaches 5. Awareness slowly returns to me as I lay on the bed. That hadn't been too bad, I muse idly. My head feels heavy, and as I see no reason to move yet, I let myself remain still in the relative silence of the recovery room. The door to the room opens, and several people come walking into the room. A brief draft brushes over my arms before it closes. The nurse is most likely coming to check on my status. I open my eyes to show I am awake. My eyelids refuse to obey. Concern begins to wash over me, and I try to open my mouth to call them. When my jaws remain locked together, I try to move my limbs. Panic sets in with full force now, as the individuals take up positions around my bed. A voice that I recognize as the one belonging to the surgeon speaks up. "If everybody is ready, let us proceed with the operation."